It is 6:30. We will begin the public hearing for July 5th, 2011. The public hearing will be on ordinance 2011-13, an ordinance to amend Article 2, Section 2.020, and Article 4, Section 4.030A of the Vergne zoning ordinance regarding carnivals and circuses. This is to allow carnivals and circuses in the C1 zone, which would be allowing it in our park area. At this time, Mr. Mayor, I will turn the public hearing over to you.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The public hearing is open for any citizen wishing to make comments on this ordinance pertaining to circuses in the park. I'd like to invite anyone who has a comment on this ordinance to the podium. And here's one. Sir, please give us your name and address, please.
My name's E.B. Kephart at 136 Woody Thomas Drive, Laverne. And I was just wondering when we can vote for Dennis Waldron for mayor. That's all I had in mind. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. If anyone else would like to make comments pertaining to the ordinance regarding circuses and carnivals in the park, please approach the podium.
Mayor Jane Skinner. I live at 792 Strong's River Road. This ordinance, is it just going to be for the one time, or if it's going to be for any circus carnivals that wants to come and set up in the park?
It's the ordinance, but they still have to go through and get permits and all of that. They can't just show up.
I know, but is it just going to be the one time, or is it
No,
going to be?
This is in the ordinance.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Would anyone like to approach and make a comment about carnivals and circuses in the park? There is an ordinance to amend the ability of circuses and carnivals to come to the park. Anyone like to make a comment? I see no one else approaching, but would anyone else like to make a comment? Ma'am, I believe that concludes the public hearing.
We will call this public hearing adjourned.
In going over the charter that this city is now operating under, it says if a majority of the votes cast in this petition that drive it, I'm sure everyone's aware of, in the election favor the termination of this form of government, the provisions of this charter shall terminate, and it gives the date that it'll terminate. If before the adoption of this charter, the municipality functioned under a different charter, thereupon the prior charter shall become effective at the time above mentioned. Now, there was a charter prior to this charter. This charter came into being in 1988. The prior charter was the original charter that came in 1972. Difference between incorporation and charter. So if this is successful, it will not do anything to the city employees. They'll all still have their jobs. It will only do away with the mayor and alderman form is what it'll do away with. I've gotten so many calls from people. They're really upset about all of this tax increase on the tail of all of the water increase and the sewer increase. I would like to see y'all put this before a vote and table this tax increase. maybe go with the smaller tax increase like Sherry tried to do a number of years ago when she was mayor. And I remember, or I believe, Cena, you voted against that raise, and it was like a 17-cent raise.
Never brought to a vote.
Hmm?
The tax raise was never brought to a vote.
Okay, so y'all voted it down before it was come to a vote?
It was never brought to a vote.
Wasn't there supposed to be a 17-cent when she trying to get a 17-cent
It was
raise?
discussed, but it was never brought to a vote.
Okay, so y'all just kind of killed it. Right. So anyway, to tack on a 100% increase to what the people are having to pay right now is unconscionable. I know you made the statement it's unconscionable about what we're doing, but I don't think this is anywhere near as bad as what y'all have done. And I would urge you to go back, bring this back up to a vote, table this, and give the people a breather. Maybe implement this thing a little at a time and bring it in here, but not like this. Because if something doesn't happen, I'll assure you we'll get the 5,200 signatures on the petition, and then this will take effect. But I just wanted all of the city employees to know, and the police and the park still operating, that it would still function as the city of Laverne. It's not going anywhere. It's going to be here. Thank you.
Mike Webb?
I'm Mike Webb. I live at 233 Hollandale Road. I'd like to say I think all of you people up here are good people, honest people, but your business mind, you have no business mind at all. You run the third largest business in the city under Ingram and Bridgestone. I don't know whether you ever checked into it or not, but you already got your tax increase from the county. The county put a tax increase that hit commercial and undeveloped commercial land at 50-something%. You already had your increase. You had more than Sherry's increase before you ever raised it. I don't know whether you even know the county raised the property taxes. I'm talking in a selfish way. But my property taxes went from $50,000 to about $81,000, and then I got to check it with the county, and that blame, I didn't pay one last year, no, another $1,700 on a piece of property I didn't even know I had, so that I owed on. So you hit commercial and business hard. Business is having a rough time, but you look all up and down Murfreesboro Road, places are closed for lease, people have gone out of business, and it only takes one person that voted for that property tax to bring it back up for another vote. It has to be somebody that voted for it, that's changed their mind, and wants to decrease this. I think we probably did. We never raised taxes since '88. We built 2 libraries, City Park, did the same improvements we did on what we had, but the economy was going good. Up the shop, because my economy is going bad. Dublin, I can't tell a man a lineman's $60, and now it's $120 because I need more money. He's going to walk out the door. But I do think a small increase, back it up. The county doesn't give you an increase. I'm sure, I don't even know whether any of you is aware that you got your tax increase already. But I agree with you. I think we do need some improvements in the city, and it takes tax dollars to do it. But this, I believe we do need to put some asphalt down, but I don't think we need to asphalt it in gold. So I think we need to back this tax up. Thank you. I probably got another minute left, but I'm...
Jerry Butler?
My name is Jerry Butler, and I live at 260 Fergus Road, and I think the 2 people that just got up here made it pretty clear that would like for you to reconsider this maybe and do a little study on it, and you may have already done that, and to see if you couldn't phase this in, because all I hear is people, due to the economy, everybody's having a hard time, and unless you just really need the big increase that's there, if you would maybe consider going back and redoing it and maybe appointing a committee, and you may have already done that, to do a study on this and see maybe that we could phase this in, and I'm sure that there's some citizens that could get involved in this and maybe help us through this, but that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we only had 3. I will call this citizens forum adjourned, and we will begin the meeting at 7 o'clock. Seven o'clock, we will begin the Board of Mayor and Aldermen meeting for July 5th, 2011. We do have a quorum. The prayer tonight will be by Alderman Waldron, and the pledge will be by myself. Please stand.
Let us pray, O Heavenly Father. Thank you, O great God, for giving us your Son, Jesus. We thank you for the freedom we all enjoy. We pray for our men and women that is serving our country. We pray to keep us safe and our city strong and on the right path. We call on you in a time of need for the people that has suffered great losses at home and around the world. We pray to keep us all safe. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll begin our department reports. Fire department. I forgot. Hang on. I need a motion to approve the minutes for June 7th, 2011, and the public hearing.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve by Vice Mayor. Do I have a second? Second. I have a second by Alderman Green. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Your turn.
Mayor, for the month of June 2011, had a total of 65 calls, consisting of 2 structure fires, 11 fire alarms, 1 vehicle fire, 1 grass fire, 1 hazardous materials call, 20 motor vehicle accidents, 8 medical calls, 17 emergency miscellaneous calls, and 4 non-emergency miscellaneous calls. For the month of June 2011, the average response time was 2.9 minutes. The total water consumption for the same month was 17,250 gallons.
Any questions? Any questions? At this time, we're very honored to see all these nice-looking men standing up here. These are some of our new firefighters that we are honored to introduce to you tonight. And if I call your name, if you'll just kind of step forward so they can kind of learn who you are. Matthew Fry, John Rutledge, Chad Williams, Cody Wilson, Jamie Lawrence, and Ashley Johnson. We're honored to have you gentlemen working for this city. Thank you for your service to us, and let's give them a hand. Thank you. This is a thrilling time, so thank you guys for being here. We appreciate you very much. Okay. Police Department. Also, at this time, we'd like to introduce our interim chief, Mr. Kyle Narride.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Boardroom, Aldermen. For the month of June, we had 3,244 calls. Of those, 88 accidents, 208 alarm calls, 107 ambulance calls, 66 motorist assists, 45 domestics, 18 burglaries, 60 thefts. We had 112 total arrests, 7 DUI, 42 driver license violations, 11 drug offense arrests, and a total of 888 citations.
Any questions? Sorry, we had some computer glitches today, so it's on paper. It won't be on your screen tonight.
Yeah, we did. I'm sorry about that. The computer software malfunctioned, so we had to do the paper form this month.
Any questions? Thank you very much. All right, codes.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Aldermen, for the month of June, the Codes Department issued 5 single-family dwelling permits, 10 commercial permits, 2 miscellaneous permits, 3 sign permits, 3 grading permits, 2 garage and shed permits, 14 other permits. Total number of permits issued for the month was 39. Complaints called in for the month was 217 for tall grass, 28 for junk cars and yards, 23 trash and yards, and 35 other. Impact fees for the month was $4,420 for road, $1,555 for park, $560 for police. Monthly revenue with impact fees was $47,111.50. Total number of single-family permits issued this year to date is 13. Total number of single-family permits issued during the same time period in 2010 was 32. Total number of all permits issued this year to date is 121.
Any questions? Questions? Thanks, Kyle. All right, Parks and Recreation, another new face. Mr. A.C. Davis, thank you for stepping in.
Thank you. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Alderman. First off, I want to let you know I got a call from Donna's husband a little while ago. The surgery went very well. Good. He thinks that he got everything done he wanted to get done while he was in there, and she should recover pretty quickly from it. Good, good. Also, in her presence, or in her absence, I'll be taking her spot, and Mike Winters will be stepping up into the maintenance supervisor spot while she's out, and Yolanda is the interim director at the senior center for now. Attendance and program rentals have all been consistent on par. This month, there will be an advisory committee, have a workshop on the 18th at 6 p.m. Parks and Rec. And then the Senior Citizens Advisory Committee meeting will not meet this month at all. First 3 weeks of summer camp went very well, thanks to Courtney Tisdale and her staff and all of our youth volunteers. We had 3 tournaments this past month, which was a handful, and we only had 1 rain-out day out of all 3 tournaments, so that's pretty good, considering, you know, we did have quite a bit of rain there on that last one. And visitors in the park yesterday. That was a huge, huge thing. Thanks to just about everybody in this room, it really went well. I would say it was a success. You know, it was huge. There was A lot of food eaten, and if anybody went away hungry, that was their own fault. Based on the numbers that I have on vehicles, we had 77,240 people in the park. So that's pretty impressive. And the fireworks show was outstanding. It was just great, but y'all know y'all were there. So that's all I have. Anybody have anything? Questions?
Awesome job.
Thank
Y'all did great. We
Thank you.
enjoyed it.
Thank you, Casey.
Thank you. Finance?
Good afternoon, Board. This month's financial report represents 11 months of our fiscal year, with the period ending May the 31st. For our general fund, revenues have exceeded expenses by $101,000. Sales tax, we've collected $3.1 million in local sales tax. That's approximately $270,000 better than what we budgeted, and approximately $368,000 better than this time last year. In our State Street Aid Fund, expenses have exceeded revenues by approximately $312,000. In our Stormwater Fund, revenues have exceeded expenses by approximately $532,000. In our Water Sewer Fund, our expenses have exceeded revenues by approximately $2.5 million. On our second page is, I generally kind of glaze over this, is our bank balances, our cash balances in our various bank accounts, but tonight I'd like to go through those, just to reiterate how much cash the city does have on hand. In our general fund, there's approximately $2 million. In the State Street Aid Fund, there's approximately $1.2 million. In our Senior Citizens Fund, there's approximately $71,000. In the Drug Fund, there's approximately $159,000. In the Library Fund, there's approximately $201,000. In the Grant Fund, there's approximately $52,000. Stormwater, there's approximately $1.9 million. In our 311 Highway and Street Capital Project Fund, there's approximately $3.6 million, and 3.3 of that is reserved for Waldron Road. In our road impact fees, it's approximately $28,000. Our capital projects, Parks and Rec, is approximately $76,000. In our police impact fees fund, there's approximately $75,000. And in our water sewer fund, there's approximately $6.3 million, with 3.3 of that going for Waldron Road. And then in our 511, which is our employee benefit fund, there's approximately $435,000. On the third page is a comparison to prior year. And when you compare this year May as compared to last year May, we're approximately $112,000 favorable in our general fund. In our water sewer fund, we're approximately $980,000 unfavorable. Have any questions?
Phyllis, do you have in front of you, do you have anything going back further than 2009, 2010? As far as our water sewer fund or our general fund?
Mm-hmm.
What was our water sewer fund?
I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me, no.
Okay.
Any more questions? Any more questions? Thanks, Phyllis. Thank you. Okay, library.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Aldermen. In June 2011, the library checked out 24,686 items. And if you look at the last number on the, well, one up from the last, we have a total of 68,269 items in the library, so we checked out about a third of the total holdings just last month. So everybody's been working really hard with summer reading. 14,598 patrons visited the library last month, with an average per day of 561. We issued 128 new juvenile cards and 228 new adult cards last month, 221. We ran 21 programs in June with a total attendance of 1,738, and 4,350 people came in to use our computers. So with numbers like that, we've been pretty busy, been having a really good summer reading this year. Staff are all working super hard. At this point, we've signed up 936 in our children's program, 91 in our teen program, and 106 in our adult program. And our goal usually is to aim for half of the year. So if we round up, our goal would be 1,006 participants. We already have 2,266, so we'll probably need to use a different yardstick next year, maybe. We continue our children's performances this Thursday at 10 with Super Science Tennessee. It's always a huge hit. The kids love it. And for adults, We're presenting the Nashville International Folk Dancers on Saturday, July 16th at noon. It's free, it's open to the public. They're going to be dancing right in the middle of the library, so even if you're in there and you don't want to see it, you'll probably see it anyway. And I would like to thank our fabulous teen volunteers for all their help this summer. They have done everything from signing people up for our programs to shelving books to cutting out craft supplies for Miss Lorna, counting heads so we can accurately report our attendance. So we couldn't have done it without them. Are there any questions for me?
Any questions? Thank you very much. Water treatment plan?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Aldermen. What we have is our month of May summary compared to last year at this time. Our volume of water this year was just about 4 million gallons in last year, and all of our testings were in compliance with compared to last year. And also, if you notice our chemical, we're in a ever-ending battle to reduce chemicals, so it really shows up for this May compared to last May. So we are getting some reduction in chemical usage. That's all dependent on what the lake gives us a lot of times. Our maintenance for the month of May was $777,763. The maintenance total for our contract year, February through May, is just under $17,000, which leaves us right now at budget about $12,000 ahead of schedule. But we do have some bigger maintenance items planned in the next few months. Over the month of May, we handled 24 active work orders, where it's preventive, oil changes, all tubing checks, 6 reactive. Customer service, we handled 2 pressure complaints and 4 water quality, which are kind of varied through the month. Our cost connection program's going well as expected. For the month, we collected $1,040. And this is the summary of May. For June, some of our announcements, we did finish our water quality report, as should every person in Laverne that gets a water bill should have gotten one. And also we deliver to all our single meter customers. So that was completed. Our lead and copper sampling was complete with the cooperation of a lot of our residents, 30, and we'll be sending them a letter with the results when they come in sometime during this month. And we've been working a lot with some of how our generators run and variable speed drives, and we've been able to kind of rotate them and give some a rest. So I think we're really seeing some results on our utility bills out there. And what we're going to do is try to get some comparison working with some of the bills here, and really be able to show something next month that what we're doing is working. And looks like it's a couple $1,000s a month, so hopefully it'll continue that way. I know utilities, whatever they charge us is the things, how we use it is the main thing. One other big announcement, we did fill our administrative assistant position, our local Miss Amy Brown, and it seems to be working out really well.
I believe she's here, if you'd like to introduce her.
Yeah, she's right back here. She started with I think she's going to be a good fit with our communication-wise, and kind of help me be a little more organized with stumbling over my words here. But that's about us in a month summary.
Any questions? Anyone have any questions? Thank you, Thomas. Okay. Public Works.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Alderman, it's good to be back. This is my first time back since the April meeting, except for the workshop the other night, and I'm glad to be back. And I want to say once again, thank all of you for your support and your cards and calls and texts and whatever else, and especially your prayers. Thanks so much. The sewer department had 118 work orders for the month, 126 hours of overtime, and the majority of those overtimes are being spent on pump stations. This past weekend, we had our own call worker out pretty much off and on all weekend long. We expect that pretty much when we got a holiday weekend, but it seemed like it was a little bit more, he said, this weekend. The water department actually had 53 work orders, and there were 2 mainline breaks during the month that were repaired without a whole lot of problems. Even got a phone call. I believe one of the customers actually called here, complimenting the men and how they were working and what they were doing. And that's what we're after. We had a lot of work this month. If you've noticed, the 24-inch water line is going in on Waldron Road, finally. They've laid a lot of pipe and got a lot further to go. We still have issues with the drilling because of the engineering firm with CSX. They came on midstream in that project and they kind of changed some things around, so we're still on hold for the drilling under the railroad. So that's kind of holding us up a little bit, but the rest of it is moving right along, and that's really good news for us. Thomas can explain it a lot better than I can, but that's going to give us tremendous support, especially for Sanford and Sanders, trying to get water there and get more water there for storage, because that's our biggest issue during the summertime, is having sufficient water going to storage and being there for residual. The street department chipper calls are continuing. They actually did 785 pickups. You wouldn't know it from the calls and the emails we get, but the chipper broke down this month, the big chipper, and was down for 2 weeks. And as a result, we had to rent a smaller chipper, and that is the one service that I hear about more than anything from the citizens. They appreciate it the most, but they complain about it the most too, because invariably, if I cut anything at my house, or friends and neighbors help me while I'm down and cut something, they cut it the day or 2 or 3 after the chipper truck was there, and then it takes another 5 or 6 weeks to get back. And that's the only issue we have there, but that's working great. Mowing, there were almost 312 hours spent mowing this month, so that's continuing. They're doing that. We had a situation, I was on an assignment. I was actually in court in another county this morning because of my old job, and AC called me, and I think that got worked out okay with the two agencies continuing to work together and what we need to do and how we need to do it. And that's something we really worked toward as well. There were 103 work orders for the street department this month, and the fleet department actually had 36 vehicles that they worked on. One of the things that I've said before that we really appreciate is workhouse. For Public Works, there were 665.5. I won't round that one up if you will allow me not to. I'd rather not with those 3 6s there, but that's an awesome number of man hours that we utilize and that we take advantage of. And you know, as I've said before, if they don't work out, they go back. We don't tolerate anything at all. The pump stations cost us the majority of the time. There were 32 of the overtime man hours that were actually pump stations for sewer. Lance told me that he's seeing things with the pump stations, which is really critical about the issue we've got coming up later on the consent that we talked about during the workshop, and I'd just like to hit it very quickly. We're really jumping on top of the issues going on with sewer because we're right at a critical stage, almost an emergency stage. And we got the correction back, I believe, and council had an opportunity to see it, and it looks like we're set to go on that. So that way you'll know when that comes up, you won't have to ask me. A lot of things are happening. We got employees who have not done the ICS training, jumping into that. We're having to work on a few little odds and ends issues with that, with some employees, with being able to go online and go through with the computer access, but we're working on that too. They're doing a lot of training. They're getting prepared to do a lot of training this next year. So look forward this year to a lot of things happening with additional OSHA training for them, for our safety and theirs, confined space training additional, and some additional trench training as well, because we're going to have to take care of our employees and make sure they're safe out there. But I appreciate the support. Any questions?
Any questions?
Glad to see you back, Mike, and y'all doing a good job out there, hard as it is, because I've cut down on the phone calls that I've got, and I appreciate what y'all do.
Thanks, sir.
And matter of fact, I got another good one today, but I think we're gonna write this up and we'll read it next meeting.
Good deal, good deal.
So-
Thank you.
All right. Now comes the fun part. We're gonna begin. We have started a new program where the employees vote for employees of the month. So I'm getting ready to introduce this month's employee of the month. When you have a director comment on an employee, I think it's very, very special. When a director sits and talks about how an employee is always willing to work, always willing to do his job, never has to worry about what he's doing, never has many complaints on this employee, and that's pretty special for a director to have somebody like that that he can rely on. And this month, Mr. Mike Jenkins has been nominated as Employee of the Month. If you'll come up here. I'm going to read this. City of Laverne Certificate of Appreciation is hereby granted to Mike Jenkins for your dedication and hard work as the City Codes Inspector. The city hereby recognizes you as Employee of the Month for July 2011 and thanks you for the excellent work you do for the City of Laverne. Thank you, Mike, for your hard work. Appreciate it.
Good job, Mike.
Now I'll ask the chiefs to come up here with me. Okay, we'll start with the police. Unfortunately, this is a sad time, but we do want to recognize some very special men. We had an incident over the weekend where we did have someone to drown at Hurricane Creek. And it was a very sad time, but when you have citizens standing on the bank, and I'm just going to say it, TWRA had 4 boats, 3 people to a boat, surrounded the area, never went into the water, and our guys showed up, clothes and all, and went into the water trying to help. And not only was it the guys that went in the water, we had numerous standing on the bank, making sure they had the life preservers, making sure that they were watching their guys holding the ropes. Officer Kilman, and I can't tell you the numbers of firefighters that were there. So these guys were just the ones going into the water, but they could go into the water because they knew they had backup on that shore. So at this time, we're going to recognize our officers. If Officer Owen Ward would come forward, please. And they literally were in their clothes. So the City of Laverne, if you want to step up here with me, Chief. The City of Laverne Certificate of Appreciation is hereby granted to Officer Owen Ward for your actions above and beyond the call of duty on July 3rd, 2011. The city hereby thanks you for your hard work and dedication to our community. And it's nice knowing somebody's willing to go in the water, clothes and all, to protect our citizens. Thank you. Officer Eric Statz. City of Laverne Certificate of Appreciation is hereby granted to Officer Eric Statz for your actions above and beyond the call of duty on July 3rd, 2011. The city hereby thanks you for your hard work and dedication to our community. It's nice knowing having you there. Thank you. Okay, if firefighter engineer Tony Amonte would step forward, please. The City of Laverne Certificate of Appreciation is hereby granted to firefighter engineer Tony Amonte for your actions above and beyond the call of duty on July 3rd, 2011. The city hereby thanks you for your hard work and dedication to to our community. Nice having you here. Thank you. And I just want to say one other thing. These guys never gave up. They were hot, they were sweaty, and like I said, all the ones that were there on that scene, would y'all just step forward? Officer, Lieutenant Sloan, I know you there. Rob Kimbrough, Officer Kilman, Reverend Garner was there, stayed right by our side, and Reverend Garner has been very, very sick. And he was out there with us in the heat, and we thank you for that. And there's many lieutenants on the fire department, I think, that were there, Shane, Hardy, there were several there that were right there on those banks helping these guys. So it was a pretty sad time, but they held strong, and they were there for the family as well. So it was an honor to be a part of you guys that night. Thank y'all very much. All right. Next presentation will be for Mr. Dana Dean. He was with MTAS, which is the Municipal Technical Advisory Service. They are for all of the municipalities over the state of Tennessee. They are not here to take sides with the city. They are not here to take sides with anybody. They are here to give you information regarding actual information. This is what they deal with on a daily basis when it comes to the surrender of a charter. So, Mr. Dean, I'm just going to let you give us some brief points that you'd like to point out.
I'll be happy to do that. Good evening, Mayor and Aldermen. My name is Dana Deem. I do work for the University of Tennessee Municipal Technical Advisory Service. I work with about 35 cities across southern Middle Tennessee, from Nashville south to the Alabama border. And cities have been making some tremendously difficult decisions this year, especially in terms of budget. And I want to say that cities exist for only one reason, and you see that reason in this room tonight is to provide service, so that when someone dials 911, there's been an emergency, there's somebody coming. And I really respect these guys, and I think the city has made some decisions, and obviously you have a vision about where you want Laverne to be relative to other communities. You want Laverne to be the place that people will want to bring their families to, and you've made a decision to increase the tax rate to continue to provide service to a growing population. And so I have to respect that, because these folks are taking a lot of heat over a decision that they made because they felt like that's the direction that the city needed to go, and they needed to support these guys that are in this room tonight, needed to give them the equipment they need, needed to give them the vehicles they need. One of the things that Laverne has had to really deal with is an expanding population, and it's tremendously difficult to continue to provide service at the level that you've been used to having as your population continues to grow. It puts a great strain on the ability for cities to provide service. And so I'll say that, I think Laverne has done a tremendous job, and I think, the direction that they're going is a good direction. It's a step backwards, I believe. Now, when I first got a phone call today about coming here this evening, it was about surrendering a charter. And now it's come to light this evening that there may be another charter. My records don't indicate that, but I don't go back as far as 1978, was it, or 79? So if there is another charter out there, and I talked with Bruce, he thinks it's a commissioner form of government. It would revert to a commissioner form of government, where you see these folks here operating as a team. In a commissioner form of government, instead of aldermen, you'd have commissioners elected. Each commissioner would be assigned to a department. One would run the fire department, one would run the police department, one would run public works. And they are, what I've seen it operate, and the reason it's only in a very small number of cities in Tennessee is because it's very inefficient. Because each of the commissioners gets stovepiped into their department, and they don't ever really come together and work as a team. All they're really concerned about is their department. And so it's a very inefficient form of government. It's probably the reason that you changed to your current form of board of mayor and aldermen. It used to be more prevalent in this state. I know of one city in East Tennessee where I used to work in the Knoxville office that uses this form of government. We were down there, our agency was down there all the time trying to get them to work together because it just wasn't working. And so I went over the press release that Kathy Tyson put out. That information is correct if there's no charter there. But if there's a charter, it would revert to the old charter. There would be a 60-day period where there'd have to be a new election, and reverting back to the old charter, that would happen. Now, in the meantime, there's probably going to be lawsuits filed on both sides of this issue, and who knows where it would go. In the meantime, I think it creates a tremendous amount of just unease among city employees, not knowing what's going to happen. Fear of the unknown is one of our biggest things that we have to deal with in life. You know, I did look at some tax rates in other cities, and each and every city is as different as night and day. They all have a different personality. They all provide a different level of service based upon what their citizens ask them to do. I work with cities that either don't have a property tax or they won't raise their property tax, and they've reached a point where they cannot provide any more service. They can't build a school if they need to build one because they don't have the funds. They can't buy a park or buy land and create a park because they don't have funds to do that. And so they have reached a saturation point, and I think definitely to their benefit tonight, this board has made a decision that in order to go the direction you want to go, you had to do this. If you look at over the past 20 years, the rate has been the same. I don't know of anything that costs what it did 20 years ago. Maybe a TV is a little less, or a computer, but everything else that this city uses to function, fire trucks, police cars, gasoline, chemicals for your water and sewer plant, has all gone up tremendously. And in the past 2 years, it's gone up even more because of fuel costs. And so I think these folks just reached a point where they had to make some tough decisions. I don't think that they would have brought this down upon themselves if they'd had any other choice. The budget that they passed, there's been a public hearing on it. There's been budget hearings. There's been opportunities for people to come and speak at these hearings. And so I really feel like they're going in the direction that the majority of the citizens want them to go. I'd be happy to take any questions. I wasn't really prepared to speak this evening, but I'd be happy to take questions if you have any questions.
Ms. Board?
You know, again, our agency is here to help you. I've worked with some of your folks before on different issues, and I'd be happy to do it again. And if there's questions that come up, things that need to be answered, we'll be happy to help you with that. And we're available anytime you need us.
We appreciate you being here, Dana.
ma'am.
Thank you
Sir.
very
Thank
much. All right, we'll move on to old business. Number 4, second reading, ordinance 2011-13, an ordinance to amend Article 2, Section 2.020, and Article 4, Section 4.030A of the Laverne zoning ordinance regarding carnivals and circuses. Received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission on May 31st, 2011. Do I have a motion to approve or to deny ordinance 2011-13?
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve by
Second.
Alderman Waldron and a second by Vice Mayor Farmer. Did I say that right?
Alderman Broker.
What did I say? Oh, I've given you both credits?
No, you said Alderman Waldron.
I'm sorry. Okay. Did we get that one right? Yes, I'm sorry. It was Alderman Broker, maybe, and then, yes. All right. All right, we have a motion to approve and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
No opposed, motion carries. All right, we went over the consent agenda in great detail during the workshop. So I need a motion to approve or to deny the consent agenda items.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve by Vice Mayor Farmer.
Second.
I have a second by Alderman Green. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No opposed, motion carries. All right, number 6. All right, this is the Economic Development Advisory Committee. Mr. Coates, his term expired in June, and he has graciously accepted the position to stay on there, and I would like to recommend that Graham Coates remains on the Economic Development Advisory Committee. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor of Mr. Coates?
Aye.
Aye. All right, number 7, first reading. Ordinance 2011-14, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2010-2011 general fund budget.
Motion to accept.
Okay, I have a motion to accept. Do I have a second?
Second.
And I have a second. Okay, on these, I apologize. Do I have any questions? Y'all stop me if I get ahead and y'all want to ask questions about anything. Sometimes I forget to ask that. Do we have any questions?
I think it's pretty well clear.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye. No.
Okay, let's do roll calls on these. Alderman Green?
Yes.
Vice Mayor?
Yes.
Alderman Broker?
Aye.
Alderman Waldron?
No.
And I vote aye. Motion carries. Okay. First reading, ordinance 2011-15, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2010-2011 stormwater fund budget.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. I have a second.
Second.
I have a second. All right. Do I have any questions, comments, or concerns? Okay, if not, we'll do a roll call. Alderman Green?
Aye.
Vice Mayor?
Yes.
Alderman Broker?
Aye.
Alderman Waldron?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion carries. First reading, ordinance 2011-16, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2010-2011 State Street Aid Fund budget.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a second. Do I have any questions, comments, or concerns? If not, we'll do a roll call. Alderman Broker?
Aye.
Alderman Waldron?
Aye.
Vice Mayor?
Yes.
Alderman Green?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion carries. Number 10, first reading, ordinance 2011-17, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2010-2011 Senior Citizens Fund budget.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. We'll do roll call. Alderman Broker?
Aye.
Alderman Waldron?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Farmer?
Yes.
Alderman Green?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion carries. Number 11, first reading, ordinance 2011-18, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2010-2011 Library Special Revenue Fund budget.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Roll call, Alderman Green.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Farmer.
Yes.
Alderman Waldron.
Aye.
Alderman Broker.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Number 12, first reading, ordinance 2011-19, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2010-2011 drug fund budget.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a second. Any questions? Roll call, Alderman Green.
Aye.
Vice Mayor.
Yes.
Alderman Waldron.
Aye.
Alderman Broker.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion carries. Number 13, First reading, ordinance 2011-20, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2010-2011 water and sewer fund budget. Motion to approve or to deny.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Roll call.
Aye.
Alderman Waltrip.
No.
Vice Mayor?
Yes.
Alderman Green? And I vote aye. Motion carries. All right, number 14 is Resolution 2011-17, a resolution to approve an additional nonprofit donation to the Rutherford County Pet Adoption and Welfare Services, better known as PAWS. At this time, we do have the new director with us, Mr. Michael Gregory. And we're going to bring Michael up so we can have some questions, if we have questions to ask of him. They are our go-to people when we have problems with animal control here. And what they're asking for, I believe, was, help me,
Extra 6,000.
6,000 more, which would put it up to 21,000. This is all we have as far as animal service. We do not have any type of animal control here whatsoever in this city. We do not have the means to catch the animals. We do not have a means to store the animals. There's nothing we can do at this point. We cannot hire someone to do it ourselves, much less build and do a facility for $21,000. But right now, before we take a vote or even have a motion, I want to open the floor to this board to ask questions of Mr. Gregory while he's here.
Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Gregory, appreciate you being here.
Yes, sir.
We obviously cannot do what you can do for us for $21,000.
Yes, sir.
You are a very valuable, provide a very valuable service to us. We appreciate that. But I can't tell you how many calls that I've received from various residents about the level of service that we have gotten from PAWS. I know you're new into it.
Right.
I'll tell you right now, I'm all for supporting the $6,000. But could you address some of the concerns, whether it be just simple calls? We would like to have the same level of service that is afforded Murfreesboro, Smyrna, and so on.
Correct. The level of service that we provide, when our calls come in, they're assigned priorities from 1 to 6, 1 being the highest priority, 6 being the lowest. So we handle the higher priority calls first, regardless of where those are. For the town of Laverne, last year, fiscal year 2009-2010, which is the last data that we have available, we had 2,438 calls to the city of Laverne, and out of those calls, we picked up 1,050 animals just from this small area. So we're providing the same level of service regardless of whether it's Smyrna, Laverne, or Murfreesboro, just based on the priority calls. Typically, we have one officer who does nothing but work Smyrna and Laverne every single day. If the call volume is heavy, then we bump up our afternoon or evening officer up this direction as well. We're doing the best that we can. Since I've been here, we focused on customer service, trying to get as many calls answered as quickly as possible, and we're doing everything that we can to do that.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And also, I would love for us to meet, maybe the city administrator, our codes enforcers. We're trying to really focus in on some of our animal laws that are ordinances here.
Okay.
So at some time, if we can all get together, maybe if you can help us when we go in to change these ordinances and to work on what we're wanting to do in animal control.
Okay.
If you can work with us and help us so we can have some teeth so we know exactly this would happen if a pit bull is here and the citizens, if we help us create some of our new ordinances with the animals. If you can get with these guys and maybe us sit down and come up with some workable ordinances as far as animal control, we would love to be able to sit down and meet with you over that.
I'd be happy to sit at the table on that. Anything that you all pass as a city, though, would have to be enforced by your city. We're only going to be able to enforce the state laws or the county ordinance. But we'll be more than happy to have a seat at the table to
Well, that's
assist.
what we know, like if we come up with an ordinance to come get the dog, we want to make sure that
Yes, ma'am.
that's within your doable range.
Yes, ma'am.
And maybe even we'll have to get our attorney in, to make sure what we can and cannot do. But if maybe if you can get with these guys, maybe set up an appointment at y'all's convenience, so we can start working on some of these animal laws, we would really appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am, we can sit at the table on that. Mr. Mayor, get in touch with me.
Michael, we know you provide more services than simple companion animals, small dogs and cats. What are some of the other services you provide in terms of animals?
The services that we provide are stray animal pickups, investigate neglects. It runs the gamut from just companion animals to, when I left, our veterinarian was working on a horse abuse case, we work cattle abuse cases, exotics, running at larges. One service that we provide that I don't think too terribly many people know about is we have a contract with a private company that's located here in Laverne that does dead animal removal services. So if you have an animal that's in the roadway, we get emails from everyone all the time having those animals picked up. So you might see a dead animal on the road today, but it's gone tomorrow and kind of wonder what happened to it. That falls back under our department as well. That's a very huge expense that we have within our department. We kind of run the gamut. We pick up a lot of skunks, a lot of raccoons out of traps, whether they be our traps, citizen traps, and those type things. So we kind of run the gamut when it comes to any type of animal as far as animal control.
What are some of the connections between animals being sick and running at large and people getting sick?
Obviously, rabies, which is what we're considered rabies and animal control, are your biggest issues and your biggest concern is rabies. Hence the reason we pick up all the skunks and the raccoons and those type things. We don't need the citizens handling those type things when they're out, especially daytime, whatnot. We need to be notified so that we can get somebody out here. One service that we provide, I don't know if many people know about this. I know Mr. Mayor called me about it, I guess it's been about a month ago. We do also provide 24-hour service. We have an officer that's on call 365 days a year, so that when the police department gets into a fix and needs somebody and needs animal assistance, all they have to do is page us, and we have an officer that comes out and responds as well.
Any more questions, guys?
Yeah, I had a few, but a lot of them done been answered.
Okay.
How many people do y'all have that goes out countywide? How many?
We have 11 officer positions. Since I've been there, there's been some resignations and some terminations, trying to get some things back in order. We're down to approximately 6 officers right now. We've got quite a few officers that are in the ranks that will be hitting the field. One hopefully be hitting the field next week, so we've got some things to ramp that back up. We are right in the midst of our busy season, the warm months, our puppy and kitten season, so we're right in the middle of that. But things, as these new officers come back on, it's unfortunately going to be about the time things drop off just a little bit, but it will be nice to get some more officers out in the field.
You got 6 officers on 2 shifts.
We have a staggered shift. We have some officers that come in at 7:30, an officer at 7:30, 9, 10:30. We have one that comes in at 1, plus we have an officer that's on call all night. So we stagger our schedules to try to give the best coverage.
It's just 6 people working the whole shift?
As far as officer positions, okay. Yes, sir. Now we have in-house folks that are handling our adoptions, handling our receiving desk, and then we have part-timers that do our cleaning as well.
When are you planning on getting back up to 11? Then
Yes, sir.
Point?
Yes, sir.
When that happens, then you said you had 1 officer for just Laverne and Smyrna. Would that then shift maybe 1 for just Laverne or 1 just in this area?
It depends on the call volume. Today, for instance, I think we had 1 call for the town of Laverne. And then, just 3 or 4 or 5 for the town of Smyrna. It just kind of depends on where our calls fall for that particular area.
What's the response time getting here?
Wouldn't be able to give you the exact response time.
Is it going to be better than it was?
I'm sorry?
Is it going to be better than it was?
I believe that believe our response time here is better than what it was. It depends, like I said, it depends though on the priority that the call is assigned. If it's a 1, 2, or 3 priority, those are going to be handled same day immediately, especially a 1. We've had 1 priority 1 since I've been there. When you get on down into your priority 4s, those are handled same day. Priority 5s are as we have officer available. Priority 6, we seldom assign that. That's going to be like a trap call. That would be added to the list and sent out as soon as we have a trap available.
Do y'all bring out traps, like if a person has a skunk problem or a groundhog problem or something, do y'all bring out traps?
We have a process that you have to go through. We have a trap loan agreement that has to be filled out. and then we get you added to our trap list, but a trap will be brought out. The caller will be educated on how to set the trap, when to set the trap, when not to set the trap, and the procedures as far as that trap. And once the animal's in, they contact us for pickup.
Okay, but a citizen, if they had the trap with themselves and if they trap an animal and call you, y'all would pick them up?
In their personal trap? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They call us. We have quite a few of those every day.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any more questions? More questions? Okay. I need a motion to approve.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. President. A motion to approve or to deny the donation, an additional nonprofit donation to the Paws.
Make the motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. We'll do a roll call. Alderman Green. Vice Mayor.
Yes.
Alderman Waldron.
Yes.
Alderman Broker.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Number 15, motion to approve an agreement with CTI for engineering services for sewer system evaluation survey and corrective action plan for the East Hurricane Creek Drainage Basin. We went into great detail on this. As Mr. Walker explained, this is pretty serious stuff that we have got to get corrected. And unfortunately, this is just something it's there, and we've got to find it, and we've got to fix it.
Motion to approve it.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Do I have any questions, comments, or concerns for number 15?
Yeah, I do. I guess it'd be a mic. The camera and the camera truck, how's it been working out?
Camera truck's been working pretty good. The only problem is it takes at least two, and in some instances, three people to make sure that you're being able to operate it safely and efficiently. The problem we've got with it is that ties us up, and we've got some critical problems, and it's going to take us a long time to do everything with our camera truck with just our folks. Part of what this will do will be more than just using the camera truck itself. They'll also look at, with the plan of action that they develop, they'll look at various ways that we can search and find problem issues. And one of the things they're looking at is some forced smoke issues, plus some other things that companies can handle out there and can get on and do a lot quicker and faster and more efficient than we can with the staff that we have. The camera trucks are very valuable too, but we can't do the whole city and look for all the problems and get them done at one time as quickly as we need to get this done.
Thank you. Thank you.
And one more question. Evan, you've looked over this agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Right.
Just making sure everything's been checked out. Okay, I need a motion to approve or to deny the engineering service.
I already made the
Oh,
motion.
you've
Tom
already made it?
seconded it.
That's right, I meant. And I didn't even let y'all talk, didn't I? Okay, we'll do a roll call. Alderman Green. Vice Mayor.
Yes.
Alderman Waldron.
I'm going to pass.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion carries. Number 16, motion to approve an agreement with CTI for engineering services for the design and construction phase of repair and improvements to the interstate sewer pump station. Once again, this is, we gotta fix it. There's no choice.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Any discussion? Questions or comments?
This one, Evans, this one.
Yes, sir.
And this one is?
Yes, ma'am.
Good, okay. All right, we'll do a roll call. Alderman Broker.
Aye.
Alderman Waldron.
Aye.
Vice Mayor.
Yes.
Alderman Green. And I vote aye. Motion carries. All right, number 17. Motion to approve Amendment 1 to the agreement between the Tennessee Department of Transportation and the City of Laverne for sidewalk construction along Fergus Road from Murfreesboro Road to Heritage Circle.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a second. All right, do I have any comments, questions, or concerns? All right, if not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Number 18, motion to approve a grant network master license and service agreement with eCivis, Inc. for grants, research, and grants management and reporting services. All right, and Bruce, I think y'all did a little research on this as well from some other cities, and you want to throw
I
in any?
had checked with the City of Columbia, who's been on this program for several months now, and it's really helped them increase their what they've gotten back as far as grants, as far as looking for grants. It's really helped them out, and I think it'd be a really good tool for us for our grant writing.
And also, it's a tracking system as well. It has the tracking system, and just since I've been in, we've had great difficulty in searching down grants, because for people, we've gotten grants, we've had some grants that was, what is like 10 years old. Nobody knew where the paperwork was, nobody knew what was going on, and we're really, and the state's coming in, they've been gracious, they've been helping us track these grants down, getting them in place. We now have a grant writer that is in place. We already had her, but now she's in her own office doing her own work and doing the grants. And there is still money out there, but it takes time to search these grants out and to prepare them. So, I mean, this is something, this board, we've talked about it. It's at your pleasure what you think we should do.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Okay. We have a motion to approve the eCivis.
It's hard
It
to
is,
say.
it is hard to say. I want to say civics.
I'll second it.
And I have a second. And we did look this over. Bruce, you've done extensive searches, making sure there was no other programs out there. He's talked to other groups. So, I mean, research was done on this. All right, we'll do a roll call. Alderman Broker.
Aye.
Alderman Waldron.
Aye.
Vice Mayor.
Yes.
Alderman Green.
Aye.
And I vote aye. And I think this is going to be a huge tool in helping us get grants and keeping up with them. All right, number 19, motion to amend quote from Accord Communications for the purchase of the weather warning system. Again, this is upping our minutes and correcting in our minutes on the callback system.
Make a motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Any questions or comments or concerns?
Comment I want to make is for the limited amount of that we're raising this per year, we probably could be saving ourselves. Probably a bundle if we have a year where we have multiple storms or multiple emergencies. So it's a no-brainer,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Any more comments?
I'm for it because I think it's going to be great for the schools.
Oh, yes, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, let's do a roll call. Alderman Green.
Aye.
Vice Mayor.
Yes.
Alderman Waldron.
No.
Alderman Broker.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion carries. All right, now this one, it got left off. This is where we have to, a motion to approve a certificate of a good moral character for a liquor by the drink application for the Maria Mariah Mexican Grill to be located at 5080 or 580 Waldron Road. Did this come back? Did the?
Yes, I received the background check this afternoon. It was okay.
Okay.
And I apologize for not getting this on the agenda for the work.
Okay. And all we do is we send in, we do the background check, the state does the rest. So it's up to the state to give them the license, not us.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, we're down to mayor and alderman comments. We'll start with you, Alderman Green.
I'd like to say that I think we had a great 4th of July. It was really good. It was hard work, I promise you, but it was worth it because we had so many people that came by to eat. And we even ran out of some food, so that speaks well, because I think everybody planned for quite a few people. And the fireworks, they were really good. But we always have good fireworks. So I think everything went great.
It was
And I
nice.
just hope everybody had a good 4th. And I'm so sorry about the drowning accident. We need to pray for that family.
Oh, yes. Is that it? That's it. Thank you. Vice Mayor?
Got nothing tonight.
Nothing tonight? Alderman Waldron?
I want to keep the Davis family in the prayers, and Donna, we need to keep Donna in the prayers. We hope to get Donna back soon. And, excuse me, thank everybody for the birthday card last week. And everybody be careful this summer. It's dangerous out there. You know, it's been a bad 4th of July weekend. I think 4 drowned and had some fatalities, even had a policeman get killed in Memphis. It's been a bad weekend in Tennessee. And Mike Jenkins, I want to congratulate Mike Jenkins. That's well deserved. Mike's probably of the worst job, the hardest job. He probably ranks top 5. And he's always done a great job, and I'm proud of Mike. He does a great job, and Mike, I appreciate all the hard work you do. Thank you. And that's it.
Alderman Broker?
Yes, ma'am. Also, same as Alderman Waldron, I just want to keep Donna in our prayers, and it sounds like she's doing better. She is such an important part of all that goes on with Parks and Rec, and I know personally I'll miss her, and I know the city will miss her as well, so I want to say that. I do want to follow up as well with what Alderman Green talked about, the patriotic picnic in the park. I do believe it was an outstanding success, not only for the city, not even for the city workers, but for the city. I think it was a big day. We came together as a team. I don't know if I agree with the 77,000 mark that you said there, but I think that was for the course of the month. But I would say 3,000 easy. It was a huge success, and I can't thank this board enough, the city employees that came out and worked, and we all had fun while we did it. And just to try to carry it into something, it's amazing what we can do when we work together. It's amazing what we can do as a city. That was one small thing. If this board could work together, if the citizens would work with us, we will move the city forward quicker. So thank you.
Thank you. Also, tonight I wanted to make just a little note. The coat contract that we voted on contingent on Evan's approval at this time, it has not met his approval. So they're still working on that, see if it can work out. If it doesn't, we may bring it back to the next month's meeting if there's any changes. So he is working on that, so I just kind of want to bring y'all up to date on that. Also this month, on June the 23rd, Laverne lost a very, very, very special lady to this city. This was Donna Nell Martin. A lot of you younger ones do not know Miss Nell, but she was a huge impact on this city back during the Vester Waldron. She was some of the first that actually got a lot of the things together for Old Timers Day. Some of you are the 40s and up probably remember her. She was very active in the Little League at the time. I think when the city actually ran it, she was a huge fundraiser. She was the secretary for years at Laverne Primary, and was actually at Roy Waldron when she became sick. And I didn't even realize she had gotten the Woman of the Year. Miss Nell never bragged much about what she had accomplished, and I did not even realize that she was a huge part in Old Timers festivals, getting it together, and she was very active in the park. She was the one that actually got my husband and I involved in the city and had our tractor up there making us move rock for her up there at that park, so she'd get that park cleaned up. But I just would like to remember the Martin family. Her son is with the rescue squad. This is just a very, very precious family. Her daughter's a teacher, and her husband's retired, but remember the family. And again, this was a special friend to not only myself, but for the city of Laverne, and it was a huge loss. And I just wanted to make mention of Miss Nell because she was such a big part of the city. Also, on the 4th, I cannot quit grinning from how much fun we had. And just so y'all know, my husband went through, and everybody has a nickname. You're the hot dog maker. You're our personal paramedic. You're tater salad. And he couldn't decide who the Hamburglar was, if that was you or Mike. So, but we had a lot of fun. And it was great seeing everybody out there. And again, to see the employees out there having a great time, all the citizens coming out. You know, at that time when it should have been honoring this country, the freedoms of this country, that's what it was fought for. Whether we all agree or not, you know, we're sitting in the room tonight, none of us agree on everything. But the 4th of July, we came together to honor this country and the men and women who die and fight every day for our freedoms, to be able to stand up and say, I don't agree with the taxes, or I agree with the taxes. That was the special part of yesterday, is honoring those people that gave us that right to have that freedom, to stand up, to agree, to disagree, or whatever the may be in our, you know, our civilization. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to every single employee and citizen that donated their time. Kathy, y'all were right out there with us. Mike had his daughter and his wife. Miss Evie had her grandkids. Box 100, and the rescue squad. Rescue squad was flipping the burgers. They had Ronnie and the rescue squad down there, and it was great. And also, going back to the tragedy on Sunday, it was, it's sad to see a tragedy happen, but to see the community come out once again, the rescue squad, Box 100, out there supporting, having their boats out there, helping with the family, not only helping with the police department and the fire department, but these support groups that are coming out with their boats, the manpower, it's phenomenal. And it's sad when it takes a tragedy to see what wonderful things that we have in Laverne. And it's something that we should be very, very proud of. And with those statements, if no one else has any comments, Mr. Mayor, do you have any?
Just reiterate again my thanks for the employees that came out, and other than the Parks and Recs, the uniform officers, everybody was a volunteer out there, and taking up their own time to make sure the citizens had a good day. Smyrna Police also lost an officer over the weekend. We're working out a deal where we can help them cover a bit so more of their officers can attend the funeral and show their respect. And also, in accordance with, with the tragedy this weekend of losing a swimmer, the day before, we also found a little boy that wandered away from his family.
That's true. That's true.
So same forces went out and found him and brought him back home. So it's good to see the folks for good and bad things.
Absolutely.
That's all.
I call this meeting adjourned.